All right, this new vocabulary term, midpoint. Midpoint. What's it sound like? I'm not going to give you a definition. What's it sound like? Midpoint. Point in the middle of what? Well, it can't be a line, right? I can't find the middle of a line because that bad boy goes on forever. So shorten it. It's the middle of a line segment. Yes, the middle of a segment. So what I'd like you to do right now is, can you please draw line segment AB? Just freehand sketch line segment AB. And put M in the middle. What you think is the middle of AB. And I'm going to turn this back to you guys. What's true then? If M's the midpoint, you should be able to tell me a true fact about my diagram right now. Paul, got a true fact?
AM equals MB.
Even more, use a bigger vocabulary term. If they're equal in length, that means they are congruent. Good, everyone agrees. If M's the midpoint, that tells me that segment AM, everyone congruent symbol again? Equals with my tilde or squiggly tilde. AM is congruent to MB if M's the midpoint. Can you take it one more step? Can you show that on your diagram that they're congruent? What have we been putting on diagrams that show segments are congruent? Hash marks, good. Throw them on. There you go. Wow, look at that power you just had, all from knowing what a midpoint was. You could conclude that AM is congruent to MB and mark your diagram properly. Move, go ahead.
Wait, shouldn't M be capital?
Capital? Mine's not capital for you? Sorry.
Oh.
Better? Okay. Any other questions? What was that? Oh, you want an algebra problem using midpoint? You got it. Here you go. Next one. Huh! Look at that. What convenience. Same diagram. M's the midpoint of AB. Let's get in this habit too. Oh, it's the midpoint. Mark your darn diagram with hash marks so I don't have to remind you. Get in that habit now. Oh, it's the midpoint. That means the left and the right side are equal. I'm doing it with 2. That's how I roll. All right, anybody got an issue with it? Talk to me later. All right, that's how I roll with this one. I'm going to put 2. All right, now we got some labels. AM, 2x plus 1, and BM, 3x minus 4. 3-part question. Can you find AM, BM, and AB for me? Well, you're not finding any of the 3 unless you know what first? The value of x. You got to find x first. All right. How can I find x? Is there anything you can set up to find x? Griffin, go ahead.
Set 2x plus 1 equals 3x minus 4.
Yeah. Okay, time out for a second. He's absolutely correct. Remember we couldn't do that a couple nights ago in homework and in class? Why? We didn't know what about this point we put on it. It was just on the line segment. We didn't know if it was in the middle or not. Now we do. Now we do. So now I can take 2x plus 1 and set it equal to 3x minus 4. If you tried to add them together, like we did on homework a couple nights ago, if you tried to add them together, what would you set it equal to? You sure you want to answer that, Jonah?
Is it 0?
No. The length of that line in segment 0?
No.
You wouldn't be setting it to anything, could you? Right? Hey, let's try 2x plus 1 plus 3x minus 4. That total is equal to... And then how are you going to solve it for x then? If there's no number on this side. You could put AB there, but good luck solving that. Everyone see my point? Why this is the only way I'm doing this. You cannot add them together. You have nothing to set them equal to. Nothing. All right? So that's the only way I could solve for x. Go ahead, go. Solve for x and then answer my 3 questions there. 5. Oh, that just disappeared. Sorry, guys. There you go. It took all my work out. Worked hard on that. Everyone all right? 11, 11, 22, 5. Are we sure we're all right? That why I'm setting them equal to each other versus not adding them together. And why I can set them equal now and I couldn't a couple days ago. Because now I have the middle point, the midpoint. We're all good? Okay, I want to do the same thing I did with distance yesterday. Can you find the middle of a line segment on a graph? That's what I'd like to do with you now. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead, plot AB for me and see if you can find the middle of that line segment. Okay, did you find the middle of the line segment for this one? Again, don't tell me 7. Don't tell me 2 radical 5. This midpoint is a point. Midpoint is a point. Okay, let's talk to somebody here. Make sure I get everybody involved. 14, here we go. Charlotte, what'd you get for the midpoint here?
I got 4, 4.
Good job, 4, 4. Yep. Okay, number 2, find the midpoint of CD. Midpoint of CD. 2, Matt.
3, -1.
3, -1 looks good to me. All right, no issues there. Pretty easy. But like distance formula, when are we going to run into a problem? When are we going to run into a problem? Go ahead, guys. When are we going to run into a problem? Yeah, when it's not horizontal or vertical. Remember yesterday we were like, oh, this is nice. I can count. And they were like, oh, I can't count anymore. Same thing here. All right, same thing here. So like the distance formula, I have a formula to find the midpoint. What do you guys think of the distance formula, by the way? Is it going to be tough to remember on Tuesday's quiz? No? Okay, then you're going to think this is a piece of cake then. How do I find the midpoint of any 2 points? All right, well, here's your parenthesis with the comma in between, right? Your x and your y. To find the x coordinate, you can add the x's, x1 plus x2. You can add them. And I'm going to see if anybody knows what to do next. I'm going to add my x coordinates to find the total distance there, but I'm finding the middle of them. I got to find the halfway point between the x's. So what do you think I'm going to do to this up here?
Divide by 2.
Oh, yeah? Darn right I am. Divide by 2. And then you guys think you can figure out the rest of it? Maybe? Paul?
Same thing, just with y.
Darn right. Add the y's, divide by 2. Okay. All right. I don't want to spend much time in an honors class finding midpoints. You have the formula. I know you guys can plug in, punch numbers on your calculator and go. So we're only going to do one example, and that's it. Okay, I don't feel like we need to do examples over and over finding midpoint. But I do want to do an example, as you can see, with some crazy fractions, huh? What do they call those? Mixed numbers? 2.5, a fourth, 3 1/4, and -1. All right, so here we go. Midpoint equal to my x coordinates added together, 2.5 plus 3 1/4. Now look, I will also advise you, if you don't like the fractions, I could turn them to decimals. So there, instead, you could have 2.5 plus 3.25. That's fine. Especially if you don't have a calculator that has fractions on it. You can do it that way. Divided by 2. And then let's add our y's together. 1/4 plus -1 divided by 2. And order doesn't matter because you're adding. So order doesn't matter. All right, let me go to my calculator. For those of you who have the capability to do this, do you know you can plug 2.5 in just like that? Are you aware of that or no? Remember where you get your fraction template? How do I get to my fraction template? Alpha y equals, and usually you guys select number 1, but now you're going to select number 2. And there it is. You can plug in 4.5, 3 1/4. All right, so go right ahead. Let's plug in our numbers. And again, having a graphing calculator is not an excuse. You can just turn them into decimals and do the same thing. Same thing as the compass. On Tuesday's quiz, I don't have calculators to borrow. All right, so you're on your own if you're going to use one. I just want to give you every acceptable answer because depending on how you did it, you could get multiple, you can get a different answer. So that's how to leave it as a couple improper fractions, mixed number, or you could have left it as a decimal, which was 2.875, comma, -0.375, if you left it as a decimal. Okay? Any of them would have been acceptable. All right, all good. Any issues we need to cover before I go on to the next one? Great, you can find the midpoint. I'm happy you can do that. Am I really going to probably test you and quiz you on that? No. I want you to be able to use the concept of midpoint to do this problem coming up next. So I have a line segment, DG. I have, just for visual purposes, I have a line segment, DG. M is the midpoint. M is the midpoint. And it has a coordinate of -1,5. That's the middle of this line segment, -1,5. I'll also tell you D has a coordinate of 1,4. Notice how this changes? I want the other coordinate now. What's G? Okay, what's the coordinates for G? Everyone see what I'm asking in this problem? Ooh, tough one, huh? Where's the midpoint again? Where's it located? Oh, negative 1, 5. But where on the I should have rephrased that. Where on the segment is it located? Right in the middle. Smack dab in the middle, isn't it, kids? Smack dab in the middle. Why am I making such a point of that? Well, you tell me. If I start at 1, 4, and I go over to the midpoint, which is right in the middle, 1, 5. Let's start on the x-axis with me. If I'm going to start at 1 on the x-axis and go to negative 1. So I'm at 1 on the x-axis. I go to negative 1. How many units did I just travel? 2 to the where? Right or left? Left, right? I just went 2 to the left to get there. And if m's in the middle, I just went 2 to the left. How many more steps do I need to go to get to the end? If I 2 to the left or the right?
Left.
Where am I on the x-axis now? Negative 3. You just found the first coordinate for G. So I went from 1 to negative 1. I went negative 2 units to the left. I went 2 units to the left. Well, if you're in the middle and you want to get to the end, you better do it again. Go minus 2 again. And we said we'll end up at negative 3. All right, what about the y coordinate? You're at 4. Go to 5. How many did you travel? 1. Up or down? Up. Plus 1. How many more units do I need to go to the end if I just went 1 unit to get to the middle? 1 more unit up. Where do I end up on the y-axis? Done. There's point G. I don't know. I don't have a method for this, skip method and whatever. I don't really have a name for this, but however many units you go to get there, you have to go that same amount of units in the same direction to end it. If you're unsure, maybe your confidence level isn't there because we only did 1, and this weekend you're trying them at home. What can I do to D and G to see if I found the right coordinate? Use the midpoint formula, and I better get what for an answer? Negative 1, 5. So that's how you can check your work. Plug it into the midpoint formula. Do you get the midpoint they gave you? Questions, comments, any concerns? Perfect. We're right on time. All right. Put your calculator away. Get your compass. And if you have a straight edge, you can get that out. We're going to start using the compass now. Okay, I'm going to get going. First, how do I know it's time to use the compass? All right, other than me saying get your compass out. How do I know to use the compass? You will see by the directions. Anytime it says construct, like it does here for me here, construct. Construct equals use your compass, please. Use your compass to do this diagram. Versus if you see the directions draw / sketch, that means you can just take your pen or pencil and freehand it. I don't need to use any compass. Everyone see that? So in the directions, if it says construct the following, I got to get my straight edge and my compass out. All right, I'm going to show you 2 today. 2 different ways to use your compass. First one, how do I, given a line segment, AB, how do I use my compass to construct a line segment that is congruent, which means what to us? Same length as it. Only using your compass, no rulers involved, unless you use it for a straight edge. So I don't want you to do this. Oh, AB looks to be 10 inches. So let me put 10 inches over here. No, that's not how this works. Construct means use the darn compass. So how do I make a line segment that's equal in length to AB just by using this tool right here? Everyone see the point I gave you? Okay, take your straight edge for me. Compass will come next. Use your straight edge, and using that point as an end point, make a line segment that's bigger than AB, please. Make a line segment right now that is bigger than AB. Using your straight edge. Eyeball it. Make sure it's bigger than AB. Okay, next. And this is the most basic way to use your compass right here. Go to AB, open up your compass the length of AB. Basically measure AB using your compass. Go over to AB, measure it using your compass. Open it up. Okay, now you're going to take that opening. Don't open or close your compass because I want it that opening, the length of AB. You're going to come over to the segment you just created. Put your compass point on the end point I gave you. Let it sit right there. Now here's where it may become awkward because you're going to make your first arc mark here. All right, using the pencil part. What I'd like you to do is draw an arc now from the end point that goes through your line segment. Okay? Just a tip. I don't know if you want to use it or not. I like to hold, when I use my compass, hold it at the top. Okay, put the pencil, put your compass point down, hold it at the top, and rotate my wrist. All right, don't squeeze the heck out of it because it's going to look like an earthquake happened when you did that arc. All right, so just plop your compass point down, nice smooth arc, holding the compass at the top. Yep.
I can't figure out how to undo this.
You can't just open it up.
I don't think so. Can you? Okay.
Hit the weight one. All right. All set? See where your arc went through your line segment? Put a point there. Put a point there. Everyone see that line segment now? From what I gave you to where the arc hit? Guess what? It's congruent to AB. It's the same length. All right? Except now I got to follow directions. What did they want to call this new segment? CD. So let's call it CD, please. Please call it CD. That's it. Open up your compass, the length, come on over, swing the arc, and they're congruent. Quick question, because I know you're going to do this on the homework this weekend. What if I wanted a line segment that was twice the length of AB? 2 times the length of AB, I wanted a segment. How could you use what we're doing right now and continue? Avery?
Make 2 arcs.
So what do you mean 2 arcs?
So open your compass.
So right here, I went from C to D, made an arc. Now where should I put my compass?
Put this part of the compass.
Yep, compass point on
D.
On D and
Make another arc.
there you go, perfect. Anybody have a different way? Because there is one other way. Okay, I won't get into it then. Good, perfect. You're going to have to think of different ways of doing this tonight on the homework. Last thing we need to do before we clean it up for the weekend. Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to party this weekend. Anybody see him? You better be ready for Monday. We're going to start the transition. I talked about that, correct? In the homework? Okay, be ready for Monday. How to find the midpoint using your compass. How to find the midpoint. I call this the fish construction, and maybe you'll see why at the end. All right, for this one, I don't want to make a segment underneath. Why? What am I finding the midpoint of? What am I asked to find the midpoint of? The segment AB. So why am I making a new one? I have to do it right on here. So take your compass point and put it on A or B. Doesn't matter. Put it on A or B. And here's the key to the construction. You need to open it up more than half the length of the line segment. Not past it. You need to open it up. Open up your compass right now more than half the length. And here, again, this is going to be difficult because you guys are new users. I need a decent size arc that you're going to draw right now. Basically a half circle that goes through the segment AB. Decent size arc. It's got to go onto the top and the bottom of it. All the way up, all the way down. Then, don't open or close it. Leave it the same opening. Go to the other endpoint and do the same exact thing. So you should have 2 intersection points on your arcs. Go over to the other endpoint and do the same thing. I don't know. Anybody seeing why I call it the fish? I don't know. So now you should have 2 intersection points on the arcs. What are you going to do with those 2 intersection points? You're going to line up your straight edge and draw a line through them. And guess where the midpoint is? Guess where? On that line where it crosses AB. Correct. There you go. So you have to open it up more than half the length. Flip it. Draw the same arc so you have 2 points, 2 intersection points. Draw your line right down through those points, and then you found your midpoint of AB. There it is. Questions from you guys? Homework this weekend. Everyone sees the constructions 1 through 4. Please do those below. Don't do them on the lines there. And then you have midpoint homework out of the book. All right, whatever you struggle with, let me know on Monday. And then Tuesday will be your quiz. So you guys now know everything that's on the quiz. Nets to midpoints. All right, nets to midpoints. All right. Have a great weekend. Please behave.